Welcome back, everybody. Episode 3 of Off the Hosel, a podcast built on sand. We are doing our third episode just shortly after the second one. We're starting to build some momentum here. So we are very excited to have a special guest today, Professor Zach Burch, an esteemed member of Tap In Triples, my excellent teammate. And he is joining us today, give us a little extra pop, and we're going to have a great episode. I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be all Hackers Cup based, as well as some insights from Professor Burch, which we'll get into here in a little bit, on certain technical aspects of the game. So nice to see you, fellas. I think you enjoying a nice weekend at the lake, Zach. Thanks for joining us.
I am, yes. Thank you. Very excited to be here. I think it's every Hackers Cup member's dream to be invited to Off the Hosel. So thank you.
You're actually technically the first guest,
Welcome.
so even more special of an honor for you.
Wow. What an honor.
First, hopefully successfully recorded guest anyway. So
Yeah, we're nervous about his video quality at the moment, but
Jury's still out. The old Red Cedar Lake Wi-Fi is a hit or miss. So we'll see.
all right. Well, we're just going to jump right into it. The topic that we're going to start with for you is just kind of going through, we've kind of done it ourselves in the previous episode, but we just want you to think about and kind of give us your favorite Hackers Cup course and hole, or holes if you have a couple that are about the same, just to kind of get us going there.
Yeah. I think it's really difficult to think about, your favorite course, because I think there's pieces of each one that I really enjoyed. You've touched on Mammoth. Obviously, that was the first time I'd played Mammoth. Really enjoyed it. And obviously, it's a lot of fun when you can have several eagle putts throughout a round. I've always really enjoyed a older course with mature trees and more of those setups than like a link style. I don't know, they just fit my eye a bit better. So Woods at Lasonia, really enjoyed that course until you get to hole 18. I have more. I feel like I have more holes that I dislike than holes I'm like, I really love that hole.
Okay, yeah. Give us the holes that just stand out one way or the other.
Anytime you put a tree off the right side of the tee box for this guy, it's a bit of a challenge.
oh yeah,
I having the old draw swing and not trusting my cut makes it tough. I think was it when we played out there. I think we had played there Friday, and I shot pretty well, and then playing it Saturday, or I forget what day it was, but coming into 18, and I'm like, I hit the fairway. Had a decent second shot, and I'm sitting out there about 100 yards, and then just shank one right into the trees on the right there. I'm like, this fucking goddamn it. So I'm sorry. I know I forgot. I'm not supposed to swear
we
on
broke
this
that rule quickly.
The ribbon's been cut, I think.
So that one. I was thinking about another hole. I actually enjoyed. I was kind of thinking about it. And it was more of, maybe didn't get it enough credit because it was maybe not as nice as some of the other courses we've played. But I think it was the South course at Eagle Ridge. Again, just kind of the layout of a lot of trees, water. I think it was hole 4. I always enjoy a hole that makes you choose a little bit off the tee what you want to do, and it was a narrow hole. You can't miss right, can't go left. So took an iron off the tee. I think I was playing you, Tyler, and stuck it to about 3 feet.
That's right.
On my second shot, and missed the putt. And then that's where the round really turned for this guy.
Oh yeah, you could say it snowballed. Hint into
Yeah.
Was the South? Did we do alt shot on the South, or was that a
4 ball?
best ball? Okay, yeah.
4 ball. I think was it me and Christian? Yeah, and I just kept telling. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just need 1 hole from you, bud. I think he was given. He was getting 2 to 3 shots a hole, and he waited until 18 to finally. I think he made a par for us to split the match. I was like, there we go. So,
that's right. Yeah.
I'll have to get that. I'll get that scorecard up on the screen for
those
this
are a few
video,
that's stand out to me
Okay.
in that regard. So
I
Yeah,
think
that was
we talked
actually a
about the
hole that I mentioned in episode 1, Dan.
yeah
That little par 4. It's an interesting little hole.
yeah you were talking a lot about the wood. I liked the woodlands. That wasn't. I think I liked was it 17 maybe was my one of my favorite holes. That little dog leg right at the end, right before 18.
Mhm.
Obviously, that was my favorite one there. But the woodlands is a nice course. I like how it's. We talked about it, just how it you get the links look on the other course, and then you get a nice woodlands feel. I think it's cool setup there. So I like that you brought that up as your favorite course, Zach. It's still different. I don't think you're going to get a ton of people saying that same thing. So that's good. Do you have so you said favorite hole is 4, least favorite hole is 18. Is that what you said? Uh,
Yeah, yeah, just that,
all right.
put that tree there.
Have you played Turtleback recently?
I haven't played Turtleback in years. I can't tell you the last time I've played it, to be honest.
Okay.
Obviously played it enough, growing up,
Yeah.
that not as much as you guys, but played out there a few times a year. And so very, very comfortable, with the course, but it's been a number of years since I've been out there.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later. I was just curious. So we were talking before we started airing about your current form and looking at your scorecards. It looks like you've got some things rolling pretty well. Anything to say about your game right now?
Yeah, I think heading into the year, I think it'd be easy to, possibly be a little bit down on ourselves after, the results the last few years. But I really entered, 2026 with a new, renewed energy, renewed, determination to really demolish the VAG. Uh, just the other day, I was out and I was able to have my first range session in quite some time. Went in with pretty low expectations, didn't really know what to expect, started to get my rhythm, ended up, being longer session than I had first anticipated. And, started with some fairway shots and, it was starting to able to work in some, different angles of attack, different positions, tight lies, hitting out of the rough, driving it hard. And,
You did that all on the range?
yeah, all in the
Wow.
range, and,
Had your classroom set
I
up for you, huh?
thought it, this might, maybe this was a fluke, but things were great, and then, next morning had another session and same result. So I'm feeling pretty great about where things are at right at the moment, and headed into the cup, and just excited to take on whatever VAG has to offer. So looking
I
forward to
love
it.
to hear it. I think that's positive talk out of you, Zach. I like that because I think keeping it positive is a big thing for you, I think, this year. So, how's the putter rolling? Because obviously, as we just heard, the 3-footers are a bit of an issue. So,
Yeah, we gave, big switch up on the old putter. Needed to just reset the mental game after about, 20 years with the old two ball.
okay.
Served me well for a lot of years, but let's face it, the last couple have been it has been a bit difficult on the mental side, sitting over those. So switched it up, went to the lab, the old Mez one there, and it's been rolling steady so far. So again, looking forward to standing over those 3-footers and knocking in those birds this year.
I love that. That actually leads us into another topic that we had talking about some equipment things. Do you want to take that, Ty?
Yeah. So we wanted to kind of get some icebreakers going with equipment questions, Birchie. And let me see, I'm going to pull this up. On the putter topic, I think, Dan, you're a zero torque guy. Uh,
Yeah, I've got the
I've
Lab Link one. Yeah.
I've hit a few of them. I'm not really buying the hype, but what do we think about the zero torque hype? I think my view is like you're only as good as the equipment can only be as good as the player. But Dan, from your experience, like or Birchie, what are you guys' thoughts on it? Because I've played a spider for yeah probably 5 seasons now, and I can't get away from it. So Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think in my mind, the reason I went to it initially was to try to just eliminate as much as I could one of the variables, because putting has never really been my natural talent. I just don't have. I feel like I can see. I feel like I see the line. I have a difficulty. I think getting that on the line I want. Honestly, I think from a lag putting standpoint, it doesn't help me at all. I've always been a pretty decent lag putter. I can get a two putt from, I feel like, just about anywhere if I have to. But th- those kind of shorter putts where I struggle, maybe that from that really like 3 to 10 feet is where I feel like I struggle to make sure I'm on that line. And so eliminating some of that club face, I think, possible issue just maybe just settles me a little bit. And I have noticed a little bit of a difference actually with my confidence and just rolling some of those putts in more than I used to. I have considered going to a spider, and they do have a zero torque option now,
Hmm.
only because I think the blade aspect of it is still a little bit. I'm not entirely sure if it's the best way for me with the Link one. So I've thrown around the idea of switching to a spider, and I might still in the future. But honestly, my putter's been rolling pretty good these days, and I'm feeling better with it. So I may just stick with it for another a couple years, depending on how it goes. But that was my thought, was just eliminate somewhat of a variable as much as I could, so I could just focus on maybe a better stroke.
That's fair. Birch, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the spider. You look, go watch the tour. It seems about half the guys out there are using spiders these days, right? So
Hmm.
must be something all right with them. When I was switching it up, trying to look at different things for me, yeah, it's just it's all about confidence, standing over the ball, right, and trying to make sure you're lining things up and hitting it square. So yeah, I went with a little bit different option. Obviously, Lab is growing popular brand, but went with a little bit different face on it than the traditional one, and liked it so far. But again, it's just that can still change round by round, right? Golf's a funny game where one day you're rolling everything in from 5-10 feet, and the next day you can burning edges and can't find it. Uh, so
Yeah, I find myself probably once a year getting into a bit of a funk and then grabbing a putter out of the garage, and then I end up maybe 1 or 2 rounds with a different putter and then just go back to the spider. But yeah, it's all feel and confidence, and even just how it looks when you're standing over the ball,
right,
I think is it makes a difference for whatever reason. I think
yeah,
the so that was interesting as I was thinking about that, because Golf Spy just did like a big putter something. They compared all these models and zero torque and mallet and blade categories, and like the zero torque's all tested way ahead. I've hit a couple in the stores, and I and wherever, and I don't know, if it's how they set up, how they look, I haven't quite got there yet. But on like a that got me thinking about the next question too, was like, what's your biggest pet peeve right now about golf club manufacturers? So like, I get annoyed at how over the years they've just lofted clubs down and lofted them down. So like a 7 iron today is like a 5 iron 20 years ago, and they claim distance, but like it, and this was really eye opening for me last spring when I got fitted, was I was hitting a bunch of irons in that like players distance category, the P790s, and I was hitting like just mashing the 7 iron, but it was almost too much and the spin rate was low. And so then I kind of went to thinner, the P770s, and the numbers were much better, but those were like, I think if you compare against the like stock P790s, my irons might be 2 to 3 degrees higher lofted than all those. So like mine would just be iron lofts. It drives me nuts, but that's just kind of the way the game's gone. So Birch, back to you. What's your biggest pet peeve on the spot? Could be anything: pricing, gimmicks, distance, whatever.
well, I'm a bit of a frugal golf connoisseur when it comes
No,
to
really?
my
Same
my
putter for 20
equipment.
years? Yeah.
Same putter for 20 years, got my irons off eBay, and I keep thinking they're new. And I'm like, shit, I bought those things like a dozen years ago. So
Yeah.
we're probably due in that regard. But yeah, I think it's, there's just not a lot of changes, anymore, right? It seems like, they come up with a new thing, then everybody mimics it, right? You look at like the lab putter for instance, like almost every brand now has like a similar style, right? It's like, oh, it's like a mirror image, but it's ours.
Hmm.
That and like the golf ball itself, right? It's like why do we have a new, like, what's really changing about it, right? A new brand. You can't use those Pro Vs from 4 years ago. We've changed the ball. It's like, have you? Like, come on. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think any of that stuff's changed. But it's fun. It definitely. I sell a lot of golf clubs, so somebody somebody must like it.
Yeah, they figure
Yeah.
it out somehow to make money, don't they?
Yeah. I think the ball thing is similar to like the drivers too, where they claim, more distance every year. At this point, we should all be hitting our drives 400 yards.
Right?
So anyway, Dan, how about you?
Uh, I kind of agree a little bit with Zach in terms of like I just feel like there's not a huge sense of variability. I mean, obviously, you know that there are differences, but the kind of uniqueness brand to brand, I feel like you're losing a little bit in terms of like this brand is known for this quality or unique fit or whatever, where they all kind of have the same spectrum of type and look across the board versus like initially Lab was so different and it was like it had its unique quality and feel. Now they all have that, right? So I just kind of feel like the lack of a little bit of a different uniqueness to each one is a little bit frustrating sometimes. I'm actually going to go the other way though, in terms of not really a pet peeve, but something I really like is that clubs are becoming more adjustable and a little bit more
Uh,
able to kind of hone into your specific needs and wants, and you can change that at any time between if you need to as you game changes or course, whatever. Obviously, you can't change it during your round, but I actually really like some of the flexibility and adjustability to some of these club setups that normally you wouldn't have. Like I was playing like a Ping i3 crossover, driving iron that I could dial down to a 2 and up to a 4 or play
mhm.
as a 3, whatever, kind of depending on what I needed. And I loved that. I since switched off of it because I didn't hit it very well. But the fact that you can do that with drivers and woods and some of these driving, I think that's actually really cool and nice where you don't necessarily have to go buy a new club. You can just adjust the one you have and maybe make it play for you a little bit better. So I'm gonna take it that way a little bit, but I think this the lack of a specific kind of this is what this brand has, and you can't get this with another brand
Mhm.
kind of deal, which Lab was and is no longer kind of be able to kind of bring that. I think, but
Yeah. Yeah, I could think of one guy who's a huge fan of that, Dan, is Jake, because last time I played with him, he had 3 or 4 different driver shafts in his bag. So, but it
he's
is
not
fun.
even
I
hitting
mean,
driver though, so I'm not
Right.
sure. I mean, the
yeah,
shafts are just sitting there empty. He's hitting
y
7 irons off the tee or whatever he's
Yeah.
hitting now, but.
but that is nice, like, you're able to kinda swap in, and if a guy's got the same, at least, driver head or kinda in the same, time frame with the brand, because they change up their tips, I think, probably every 5 years. Maybe not so much that, but you can try out different shafts or try your shafts in a different driver, so, I
Yeah.
mean, that part
It's
of it's
it's
pretty
made it
fun.
it's made it a little easier for the, semi-casual golfer to
Yeah.
experiment and try new things with their swing or their club selection as opposed to like, I don't know, got it off the shelf and this is what we have. And so that is a good aspect.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one that, this should be an easy one. We're gonna go with your favorite equipment brand and then one you've just never really cared for. So, I'll start with the
Ooh.
one that I've never cared for is Callaway. I've just never been able to hit anything Callaway. I don't know why. And then I got a Ping driver and my irons are TaylorMade. So I'm between the two. I really love the driver, but I gotta go with TaylorMade, which sounds like the popular pick, but I I really like the irons I have in my bag. the P770s. They're great clubs, and I know TaylorMade has a lot of tour players. I think their bags from top to bottom are really good. I mentioned also Game and a Spider, so I'm gonna go with TaylorMade as my favorite.
Yeah, for me, it's really, really simple with my irons. I love my Mizunos. I'll never not have Mizuno irons again. Just something about
Bold.
standing over them, just the way they look and feel. Yeah, very happy. And the dislike, right? So I've only ever had 3 sets of irons in my whole life. Well, since I like really started playing, I had some Titleist DCIs that I got when I was 12, and I played those through mid high school. And then somebody convinced me that I should try some pings. I got the Ping i5s, and then it was like at that time it was like get the your high irons and like the G5. It's a perfect setup, a little more forgiveness. And I went from the DCIs to those and hated them. I like looking over the ball, the feel, like how it lasted like maybe 2 months, and I switched right back to the DCIs, and then I played those for probably another 5 years or more until I got my Mizunos. And so Titleist, Mizuno, definitely top two for iron play. Always been a TaylorMade guy. Driver, I've hit some other drivers, just like trying out like the Pings or even like the Titleist ones, and I've just always gone back to the TaylorMade again, just kind of standing over it, what it looks like and feels like. Never had an issue, not to continue with that. So
Hmm. All right, Dan.
Yeah, for me, from a driver standpoint, I've actually bounced between TaylorMade and Callaway my whole life, and I like them both. I have both in the bag right now with the Callaway Mini and then the TaylorMade that I'm playing with now. Because last year I just played with the Mini because I didn't like the Paradigm, but so I went to the QI 4D or whatever this year, and I really like it. But both of those driver brands for me have been really good at different times. I don't the current Cal. I hit the Quantum. I didn't like it. So it just kind of year by year on which
Hmm.
version I like better. But I think I'm with Zach on the Mizunos. I was playing Ping I forget even what one it was. I had them secondhand. They're like i3s or i5s or something, and I played them for a long time. But when I switched to Mizunos, it was just like, oh my gosh, these are perfect. And I've hit other irons since then. I've hit Strixons, which get a lot of good press, and people say that they're the best irons. But I hated the Strixons. I hated the feel. I don't know what it was. Could have just been the day. But the Mizunos for me, I'm with Zach. I think are just perfection. Don't always hit them perfectly, but they feel good. They like when you hit good contact with it. I don't know that there's a better feeling. So I'm with him. I'm with you on that on Zach with the Mizunos. And then I was a Callaway wedge guy for a long time. Sorry, Cleveland wedge guy for a long time. Up until I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I started getting Vokies, and I'm never going to leave Voki. I think the feel and the look on those is just so good. But I didn't hate the Clevelands growing up. I played those for a long time, and if I had to go back, I'd probably go back to a Cleveland. But yeah, for me, it's Voki, it's Mizuno, and it's TaylorMade Callaway driver, one of the two.
right. Yeah, same with the wedges for me. It's I remember having like a Cleveland, when I was younger, but then I got my first Vokey, and it's like, wow, there's never a reason to go back or really try too much, else, just because I've always loved them. So
Yeah, I same exact story with Folkies for me. I got Cleveland's pretty much forever, and then I had some TaylorMade milled grinds that were decent, but picked up a couple Vokies, and I'll never go back.
Yeah, when especially on a wedge when it's something that's so feel based, like
Right.
you can't once you find it, if you start messing after that, you're just an idiot because getting a wedge that feels good is just so
Hmm.
important. So I think the Vokies are awesome. I actually tried the TaylorMade milled wedges too, and I didn't dislike them. It's just they kind of felt a lot like Cleveland for me, kind of in the way that I don't know why I feel that way. It just did, but and I would play them if I had to. But all right, so that's a good equipment talk. I'm glad you brought up your new putter, Zach, because I didn't know you got a new putter.
That was a
The
great
Mez,
segue.
the Mez is that's the
Unplanned.
big one, right? That's the big
yeah,
bold, yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
looks I don't even know how to describe it. It's
yeah.
like
It's
kind of got
huge,
like the back.
like a
It's
10
big, but it's
almost.
got the
Isn't it the
back
one with the circle
cutouts.
on it or something?
No, it's got like a line. It almost looks like a spaceship. Like,
I think you got to
Okay.
overlay the picture, Dan,
yeah,
Yeah, I'll have to bring it
for
up
the
because I
video.
can't picture. There's a couple different variants. Which mez is it?
it's I forget the exact
Oh,
name of
okay.
that. Look, it's like the Mez 1, and it's
Mez
the
one. Okay.
large
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
actual.
overlay that so people can see what kind
Yeah,
of rocket ship you're using these days.
Has it got like the two prongs on the outside?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get into the big news. We had dropped this with the captain's interview that didn't go through, but we're gonna bring up and formally talk about course lineup, formats, and kind of go through that, give us our thoughts, and see what you think. So this year we've got 3 courses. We're gonna play Wild Ridge on Saturday morning. We're going to do best ball there. And then Jake and Colton, mostly Jake, I think, but I think Colton was helping. I've gotten us on Eau Claire Country Club for the afternoon, which is going to be, I think, awesome. It's obviously a private club, and I've heard really hard. I've never played it myself, but I think that will be a nice Saturday to be in Eau Claire. Wild Ridge we played in high school. Tyler, I'm sure you remember that.
Oh
Zach, I don't
yeah.
know if you've ever played Wild Ridge, but I always liked that course. It's challenging enough, but it's forgiving too in certain ways. And I don't remember a ton of it. It's been obviously almost 20 years since, which sounds horrible when I think about it, since I graduated and had played that course, but I always did like that course. So I think that'll be a great day. And then Sunday, we'll be at Turtleback for 36 holes. We're going to do alt shot in the morning and then singles in the afternoon, which I think is going to be electric that day. I think Sunday is going to be absolutely fire, given those 2 formats on Turtleback, which is essentially a home field for everybody that's from the area. And there might be a couple guys that might not have played a lot of it, but I don't know. I think it's going to be an absolutely all-time Hackers Cup with that lineup. So give me your thoughts, Tyler and Zach, about what you think about that, and we'll kind of get into it.
Yeah. So Wild Ridge, I played there probably 2020 or 2021 was the last time I played there. Like you said, Dan, great course. It's certainly a challenge, but there are pieces of it that are forgiving. It's somewhat of a different layout between the front nine and the back nine, where I haven't played the back nine as much because we always did the 9 hole meets in high
Right.
school and we were always on the front. But the back nine is it kind of got some linksy vibes to it a little bit. And there's a lot of like long grass or kind of marsh areas, but they're all red staked. So like you're not reteeing if you lose your ball, you just drop at point of entry, which kind of helps pace of play. So yeah, Wild Ridge, that's going to be a great start. I've played the country club one time. I liked it, and I don't know if you guys have played there, but when I got done with my round, I just remember thinking it's going to be really fun to play there again now that I kind of know all the holes and what maybe a better play off the tee is or where some of the lines are off the tee. But obviously, being a private club, the greens are awesome. There's some really cool holes that are kind of cut either like, a big downhill tee shot with everything in front of you. There's some pretty tough uphill approach shots as well. 18, finishing hole is a very interesting kind of dog leg right that wraps around this big hill. And then your entire approach to the green, you're going up towards the clubhouse. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Um, and as far as like challenging, I don't want guys to get all nervous about playing a hard course. Like it is difficult, but I wouldn't put it as more difficult than Lido. I think that's probably the toughest course we've played, even though it wasn't competition. But and then
How would
Turtle,
you say it compares to like the general? Because I thought the general was pretty tough. Like I thought
yeah,
general is probably if you take out the Lido, I thought general is probably the hardest course we've played in Hackers Cup.
yeah, I would. That's a good question. I would say the country club is maybe a little more forgiving off the tee than the general. But I think around the greens, the country club's going to be a tougher course. Because if I remember right, there's only a couple holes on the country club that are like tight. and there's some spots where like you're gonna get punished if you hit it into a bad spot, but the general was tight, man. Like you
Yeah.
you had to be pretty accurate off the tee. Not like it was super tight, but if you were a little bit off the fairway, or there wasn't much room between fairway and woods at the generals, which I think the country club's got a little more space on outside of the fairways. And then Turtleback just kind of speaks for itself. And Dan, you nailed it. It's going to be an electric Sunday, and just a lot of guys being local. I think we're gonna attract quite the crowd too, from the sounds of it on Sunday. So
You
it's gonna
think
be
we're
a
going to
fun
have some
time.
spectators,
Little
huh?
gallery coming in, huh?
That's what I've been hearing.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
What do we refer to the patrons? We're not obviously going to be the masters and make sure we call everybody patrons, but are we going to have a special term?
Yeah, we got to think of that. It's got to be
Yeah.
some like the hackers hooligans or something.
Oh,
we could call
the
them.
hooligans. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. I've played Wild Ridge twice maybe, but I don't think it maybe my early 20s was like the last time. If I remember, there's quite a bit like elevation change there as well, right? So playing in the
Yeah.
morning, maybe a little easier, hopefully, like if the wind isn't blowing too hard. But anytime you get in a course like that, right? And the wind, I think is probably the biggest factor, at least for my golf game, right? Especially if you're trying to hit narrower fairways or elevation changes, you start hitting a little cut or something off and the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour, all of a sudden that thing is 2 holes over, right? Looking forward to playing the country club. Never played there, obviously, and I don't think a lot of the guys have, right? Maybe a couple.
I think your team, Ty, will have a little bit of an advantage because I think your team may be the only one that's played there. I don't know anybody on Tap and Triples that's played there. I could be
What
wrong,
about
but
Burger? Burger may have played
did
there.
he play there? I don't know for sure, but
I don't know if he was. We did it for the Brewery Bash one year, and I don't know if Burger was there or not.
Not that seeing the course once is a huge advantage, but I mean it's a little bit of an advantage I would give to you guys.
Yeah,
on that.
it's like I said. I think
course knowledge, right?
Yeah, seeing it one time and at least knowing where some of the lines are off the tee is helpful.
Right. There's nothing more frustrating than thinking you hit a great shot only to find out like why
Sounds familiar, Zach.
Yeah,
maybe like if a caddy tells you where to aim.
Never seen anybody hit there.
Yeah.
What am I paying you for?
Hey, you got any Advil?
I know it doesn't matter to them, right? But it's like, hey, we got money on this game, right? Like I was playing well. What are you doing?
Yeah.
At least tell me what's out there. But yeah, and then obviously playing Turtleback, I think it'll be fun. It's been, like I said, a few years for me, but it being the home course for a lot of guys, and I feel like I still have enough course knowledge there as well to, maybe I don't remember every nook and cranny on every green type of thing, but at least know well enough, like, hey, where I want my ball. And so, yeah, excited about that. I think it'll be a dogfight down the stretch, and definitely has some, good finishing holes, I think, on the back as you come in there too, where, things can get squirrely a little bit, right? Especially you start to tense up, it gets a little tighter on that backside, and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm probably more excited for this Sunday Hackers Cup than I was on any other trips we had, because I just think Turtleback's going to bring such a familiarity, and if we have hooligans around and just I think it's just going to bring a different level of energy and excitement. Especially, I love that we're playing alt shot and singles on the same course, and it's Turtleback. I just think that's going to be hard to beat as we move forward. But I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. But I think it's going to be one of an all-time Hackers Cup. I think the Eau Claire courses are excellent, and it's awesome work by Jake and the guys to get us on there. And then, so for those that don't know, I think there's a bus that's been arranged to get us from Barron down to the course. Obviously, the guys coming up from the south or elsewhere might just meet us at the course originally, but from the guys that are going to be in Rice Lake and Barron area, that a bus has been arranged that's going to get us home that night too, which I think will be also a nice peace of mind as we go through that day too.
So I think Birch, it'll be interesting if it's been that long since you played Turtleback, like how some of the holes might be a little bit different. And I don't know exactly how they will be, but like there's
Well,
some spots where maybe they've let some longer grass grow out. For green feels like it gets smaller and smaller every year. So
yeah.
I don't know the last year you played it, but that hole's definitely different than it was
Because that used to be a pretty
20
big
years ago.
green,
It
on
used to be
4.
huge, yeah.
Yeah,
So it used to wrap around like the bunker on the left. Like that
right.
bunker
Yeah.
used to be like right off the
You'd play a
green.
deep back left pin sometimes. That was
Yes.
a tough pin to get to. Yeah.
And now that bunker, there's probably a good 10 yards between that bunker and the green. So, and a tree that I absolutely hated and was not sad to see it go. The tree on the left side of 16, Birch, I don't know if you remember that tree.
Oh yeah.
You, you as a draw hitter, it doesn't affect you as much, but that was a good aim point for a cutter of the ball. But then if it didn't cut, I was stuck behind that tree. So now that thing's gone, it's a little more open. But I think it'll be interesting for you just to play it if it's been that long, and us local guys that have kind of just seen all these changes over the. It's not like anything dramatic or drastic, but like I played Hayward in May. I hadn't played Hayward since high school, and they had a big storm roll through there, and some of the holes were unrecognizable from all the trees they had to remove. So be curious if you have any experiences like that once you come back up. So should be
Yeah,
fun.
I'm sure it'll be different. Like I said, I can't remember the exact last time, but
Yeah.
I've obviously played enough. But another aspect that there's a lot of like trees growing, right? Like when it's
Mhm.
been longer than expected, that tree was never that big, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I think the back nine is going to be pretty interesting on those Sunday rounds because obviously you can get through the front pretty smoothly a lot of times, go low, and then you hit the back nine, and all of a sudden the same shot you hit on, one of the front holes is now in trouble, and you have a couple of tough par threes back there. So you could see some swings on that back nine for sure. Obviously, 16, while pretty short, it doesn't take a whole lot to put you in trouble there. But if that tree's gone, maybe that makes it a little bit easier. But 17 long, 18, definitely a chance to make up a hole there if you take a chance. So I agree. I think the finishing holes on back nine in particular are going to make it for very interesting play on Sunday. So, and obviously, coming up 18 with the clubhouse in the background and almost like an amphitheater type feel with if you got hooligans sitting up on the hill and everything, should be pretty cool. So
I okay, I'm pulling this up. You mentioned the back nines. Those that are fortunate enough to have played with me at Turtleback know my love for holes 10 through 13. Oh man, I'm pulling up the wrong. I'm trying to pull up the on the gin. You can see your scores. Uh Now let's do past
Oh,
12
by
months. Let's
hole.
see what that looks hole by hole. Yeah. So I got Turtleback up. Oh, I don't know if it's letting me do that, but my average to par. Okay, here it is. Average score by hole. So my average to par on 10 is plus 1.17, 11 plus 0.83, 12 plus 1, and then 13 plus 0.67. And then 15 comes up on me as a full stroke over par on average. So that stretch of holes for me, for whatever reason, I suck.
I did not know you could do that on the
That's
gin.
pretty
That's
cool.
cool, and that probably would be across the board for most people that you're going to run higher on the back. It's just a harder.
Yeah.
It's just more technical, and I think the front just lulls you to sleep a little bit. Like you just get away with some things, and you feel like things are going well, and then you get to the back, and all of a sudden, if your game's not tight on and in control, like it gets away from you quickly. I had plenty of rounds where I was cruising through the front, and you get to the back, and it just implodes because everything is just different. So I think that'll be fun to see how that shakes out with the matches on Sunday.
Yep.
All right, we lost Tyler there for a minute. He'll be back. But so that's a good talk. I think now that people, I think most people know the schedule already. I think my brother is completely lost and has been told 4 times, but still doesn't know what the schedule is. But now Alex, now
He'll
you
arrive.
know what the schedule is officially. So leave us alone. The next thing, Zach, let's see. Maybe we'll pass on that and we'll do that when Tyler gets back. What if you had to think? You've done what two or three Hackers
3.
Cups now? You've done three.
3.
What
Yep.
think about? I want you to think about, if you can, one or a couple of what your favorite moments have been, or just favorite aspects of Hackers Cup in general. I mean, it can be anything, either golf related, experience related, trip related. It doesn't have to be specifically something golf. It can be, but just give me some of your favorite Hackers Cup moments through this last couple of years that you've been a part of it.
Yeah. For me, I think I really enjoy when other people are enjoying themselves. So allowing whoever's playing me to have, essentially their best round of the year is really rewarding, experience, and seeing the joy, on their face just brightens my day. Uh, so I'm always happy to do that.
I, for the listeners, I'm pretty sure that was sarcasm. So
No, no, not at all. I just love it. Prado, you're welcome. I know you make 8 pars in a row relatively frequently, so maybe it wasn't as joyful as it looks like it was. But so no, I honestly, like, I just love it. I look forward to the cup every year. Having a weekend where we can get 16 guys together, it's just it really is amazing, right? I mean, it's something we definitely shouldn't be taking for granted. Having the time out on out on the course, the moments, the trash talk. It's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to coming out on the right end of that this year for tap in triples. So
yeah, I suppose you came in after we got that first win. So I mean, it's been a long time for all of us on triples, but obviously for you newer guys in the last couple of years, we still haven't got a W. So yeah, we'll have to change the trend this year. I think this is a good chance for us to do it. But yeah, I echo the aspect of it where it's just we shouldn't take it for granted. I mean, to get this many of our best buddies together every year, 16, and to make it happen every year is a testament to, I think, not only the history and friendships we have, but also I think the willingness of our families to be tolerant of that and allow us to do that. So it's not going to happen forever. It's just not possible for it to work out this way all the time. And hopefully we can have a cup in some form or fashion for as long as we can, whether it's 16 or more or less. But I think that overall theme of Hackers Cup is just let's this is just something that we can't take for granted and have fun with, and try not to take it too seriously. Obviously, we're all very competitive and want to win, but I think at the end of the day, it's about being able to find a weekend to be with some best friends and play some golf and have some moments. So maybe we can give you your defining moment this year, Zach, with like some clutch play and clutch moments at the cup where we can get you a W and let you have the cup for a while. I think that might be your greatest Hackers Cup moment coming up this
that
year.
would
So
be. Yeah, I wanna win. Yeah, as much as the next guy. I felt bad the last few years, for our former captain as well, feeling like I've let him down. So we
I'm
don't
going to
want those
interrupt you there,
feelings
Zach. I
anymore.
I promise you, if you were to look at the score for the last 5 years, really, not just the last couple years, I have not held up my end of the bargain. So regardless of whatever you've brought to the table, all positive. It has not been uh, anywhere near as bad as what I brought. So that's part of the goal this year, is to maybe just set back and relax a little bit and let myself just enjoy it more.
I get you. I
Hopefully
I
that
think
that brings some new results for us. But I promise you, you're in the same boat as I am. I think you're very similar. I think we both are due, and I
yeah.
think it's a dangerous situation
No,
for the other team this year.
I'm again. I don't think anybody on tap in triples, you know, wanted you to relinquish your captaincy, but we all respect your decision. But I think we're looking forward to the new regime and Captain Hanvelt and the vibes. Right, he's gonna provide, and I think maybe taking a little different approach and weight off of our shoulders is what we need to come in with clear minds. Right.
Yeah.
to execute. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I think Hanvelt's perfect as the next one. I think he's going to, it's just a different, I think, style, which we need. We need something different. We need a little bit different view. You can't lose 3 in a row and keep doing the same thing over and over, right? So I think Ben was the perfect person to take that. And he's obviously, I mentioned on the last episode, he's really excited, and I think we are too. I think it's going to be great. I think the other team is underestimating him a little bit. I think tone coming from that team right now is like quiet, like we got this guy. Like they feel like they got him, and you know how Ben is. He's going to take that and punch you in the face with it. So good luck with that, Ty. I know he was calling you out for your tone the other day, and I agreed with him completely. I thought you were just very disrespectful towards him. And
Yeah, not what I intended at all, by the way. Like,
hey, bulletin board material comes in different shapes and forms, and apparently you gave him a big old neon poster.
Benny's a big teddy bear, but you don't want to poke that bear. Like,
I know,
let's be honest.
Yeah, I spoke with the captain of Team Tap and Triples shortly after that podcast episode was aired, and we it was a good discussion. We didn't really touch on my comments regarding his captaincy, but I still just some there. Let's see how he does. I mean, it's the 8 guys on that you got on the course, and there's some small decisions here and there that need to be made, and some large ones too. But let's see how he does. I think Clarence, your comment on guys having their best rounds of the season against you, you're probably just such a fun guy to play with. You just bring out the best in everyone. I would take it that way.
Like I said, I revel in the joy of others. It's just really what, it really gets me going, right? So it's great. It's a win all around.
Oh man, we had diapers and this, that, and the other thing that just came up, and I got muted, and I'm laughing while I'm doing all that, listening to you say this. That was hilarious.
Zach, before we get into your classroom segment here, any drama that you want to talk about? I mean, this is kind of like, we're going to be introducing a new segment or even episode style called Sifting Through the Sand. And we're doing it with interviews and guest appearances. So we want to sift through the sand with you a little bit here. Is there any drama that you want to get off your chest? Concerns, questions that have been brewing in you since starting the Hackers Cup. You don't have to have any. I mean, that could be a very bare minimum sand level here, but this is your chance for us to kind of help you work through anything, air it out, make sure people know about it. Anything you want to talk about, this is your chance, and then we'll get you into the classroom and let you do some teaching today.
I'm trying to be past, the drama in my life and look clear moving forward here. I touched on my form a little bit earlier, and I think things are going in the right direction. On the course, I love the guy, but nothing would make me happier than taking Jake down in singles if I ever get the opportunity again. But I feel like about everyone on our team feels the same way in that regard. So we need to let our play speak for ourselves and take care of that. So it does look I'm going to be coming up against it here, boys. So getting some knocks on the door. So we got to get going here soon. But
okay,
what was the last
well, here's what we're going to do. On the if you guys are watching the video, Zach made a teaching segment, so I'm going to put that into the editing. I can't show it right now, but so Zach, just number one, I thought it was absolute gold. It was perfection. Well done on the video. We're not going to talk about until we'll basically end the episode with it, and I'm just going to leave people with it as we leave this episode. But I must say, I thought you did a great job on that. So, since you have a quick thing, we're going to do a rapid fire real fast. All right, and we'll end with that. It'll take just a couple seconds. So, first thing that comes to your head, answer it. We'll move on. There's like 7 questions, and then we can let you get out of here and go and get a sunburn or something out there on the lake. So, right. So, favorite club in your bag? Go.
52.
Vokey, we've already established.
Yeah.
Least trustworthy scorecard?
What in
of the Hackers Cup group, sorry.
Oh gosh, Jordan Crotto.
Most likely to miss a tee time at Hackers Cup.
Jake DeSantis.
Most likely to get a hole-in-one at the Hackers Cup.
Clarence.
Nice.
Ooh.
How many different putters will Rob use at the Hackers Cup 2026?
3.
First guy to sleep on Saturday night.
Bina.
Off the course wild card prediction this year.
Off the course wild card?
Yeah.
Ooh. Somebody steals a golf cart on Saturday.
On
Okay.
Saturday from the country club. How would that
Yeah.
work out?
Yeah. All right. Well, you've already answered this one. So it was who do you want to face in singles? You just called out Jake for the third year in a row, I think. So we all knew that one was coming. But that was rapid fire with Professor Burch. Zach, thank you for joining us today. I think this was an awesome episode. Glad you could make it work in the midst of your vacation on the lake. We will end this episode on the video with your video. So again, well done. And I look forward to the comments from the group after seeing that. But anything else from you guys?
Yeah, I hope just everybody can take away, one thing, from the video that they can utilize in the weeks ahead. So
It was a very relatable video. I like how you laid it out, and I think as we're all watching it, we can with a sense of humor all relate and say, yeah, I've been there before. So
and
That's good.
it could possibly be voted a direct relation to maybe your best Hackers Cup moment to date. So
yeah.
I think there would be a good argument for that. We'll see if we can maybe change that this year, though. Okay.
That was one of I think maybe the hardest I've laughed in all Hackers Cups. That was
yeah,
so perfect.
I didn't want to put that directly into the video, but that is also extra points as well if there is a cart girl directly in the line of fire.
Well, everything about it was so good because it, like you said, you missed that short putt earlier in the round, and you guys were, me and Alex were playing tough, and you guys were battling, but you just couldn't get anywhere on us, and you were in perfect position. And then the club throw had that just perfect sound to it, So anyway, that was good.
Good.
All right,
Anyway.
fellas. Well, great episode. Thanks for joining again, and we'll see you next time. Look for us in a couple weeks for another special episode. So we'll see you later.
Thanks, guys. Gentlemen, it's hard to believe that we are only a few weeks away from THC 2026. I have the privilege and the honor to talk to you today about a topic that is near to dear in my heart as a golfer, and that is how to properly deal with frustration and anger while you're on the golf course. We all know golf can be a frustrating game, and we need to make sure that we have the proper outlet, because if you let that anger and frustration build up inside of you, not only is it going to impact your round, it's going to impact your playing partners, and let's face it, we're not getting any younger. It's going to impact the old ticker too, right? So we need to get that out. We don't want that building up. So, a few methods that you can go to. If you're a bit of a pussy, maybe a pacifist, you can try the old breathing technique. Maybe that works for the first hole or two, right? In through the nose, hold, out through the mouth, right? That old thing. That was never quite my style. Maybe if it's hole 2, hole 3, and you're just starting to build up, maybe you let out a good fuck, and that does the trick. And hopefully things improve from there, right? Well, let's say things are building up, continue to build slowly. Maybe you shank one, maybe you pull it into the bunker, and you need to get that out. There's really only one method that's going to do the trick, and that's the good old-fashioned club toss. Now, there's a few methods that I'm going to show you today, but you can make it your own. The first is what I like to call the recoil. This, very simply, hitting your shot, coming through, you rifle that fucker back as fast as you can, right? Now make sure nobody's behind you. We don't want anybody getting hurt, but that usually does the trick. The other, with the World Cup, I'm calling this one the Viking hammer toss, right? That's 2 hands over the top. You just rifle it hard as you can, right? Pick a target. Again, let's not hurt anybody. But my favorite and preferred method is the good old fashioned home run baseball swing. This is where we're looking for distance, maybe height. You're cranking that thing, rifling as hard as you can. Okay. Now, couple tips. Again, we're getting older. We want to make sure we have a good, firm base of support. Keep it in the core, right? Don't want any of these one-arm things. That's how you're gonna, mess up your rotator cuff. That's gonna haunt you for years. Okay, so make sure you have that thing. Now, some tips again, extra points. If you can locate a pond, perhaps a tree, pine trees are good. Get that thing stuck up there 20, 30 feet. Not only does it, get that anger out quickly, also provides some comedic relief to the group. Finally, maybe a story or two to share with the kids and the wife. So, looking forward to seeing everybody. Take these methods, maybe try to practice them a time or two so that you can use them out there in a few weeks. Looking forward to it, fellas. See you soon.